Welcome everybody to this throwback review of the Transformers Dark of the Moon Deluxe class Autobot Q, also known of course as Wheeljack. Now before we get into the video, I would really appreciate it if you guys could all smash that like button, and as always please feel free to let me know down in the comment section below what character or figure you would like me to take a look at in the next throwback video. Q is in fact one of the characters that I have been eagerly wanting to revisit ever since I launched this series of reviews way back in January, as this figure is indeed my favourite Dark of the Moon figure of all time. Yes, even beating the Ultimate, Leader, Voyager, and absolutely obliterating the Deluxe class assortment. This guy was awesome. It is just a shame that unfortunately he was a part of the final and then cancelled Dark of the Moon wave, meaning that he had an incredibly elusive release. I believe that he never actually made it to American nor European shores and only got a very limited release in the Asian market, meaning that even if you were able to actually track him down, he would cost you a very hefty price tag. So I'm definitely intrigued to see as to what Hasbro could pull off with a 2021/2022 Studio Series incarnation. But for now, I'm more than sufficed with this 9, almost 10-year-old release. As we take a look here at Q/Wheeljack in his alternate mode, as this is in fact how all of the deluxe figures from the DOTM line came packaged. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below on whether or not you prefer your Transformers to be packaged in alternate mode or robot mode. I know for the most part all of the generation figures are packaged in their robot modes, but it would be cool once again to see them revert back to being actually packaged in vehicle mode. You can see that Wheeljack here looks absolutely fantastic in, I believe he's Mercedes-Benz E550 alternate form. They have done such a splendid job. He was actually one of the brand new Autobots to grace the silver screen in a DOTM movie. It is just such a shame that such an awesome character did not get nowhere near as much screen time as he deserved, and he had so much potential. He was in fact an almost inventor, much like Wheeljack from the original G1 series, although to me I actually loved his design. I thought his design was so well done. It had heavy influence from, I believe, Albert Einstein, but whilst at the same time was just a major departure when compared to the likes of Ironhide, Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. He was very humanized as far as his design was concerned, but here in vehicle mode you can see we've got some exquisite looking details such as the silver exhaust pipes, and the tail lights been picked out in a very nice red and silver. We've got the E550 decal there on the back, as well as the Mercedes insignia, which can also be seen actually sculpted and painted in all of the hubcaps, which is superb. I love the colour of cast plastic which they did in fact use here for the windows. It does help in order to conceal some of that robot mode kibble, and we also do have some exceptional looking paintwork here at the front. As we spin around here to the underside, you can see that the robot does in fact actually compact fairly nicely. There are no evident robot mode pieces besides perhaps the chest unit, but that could just be merely mistaken for some car mechanical components. The majority of the DOTM figures all had pinned on wheels, which if you are a fan of the channel, you guys all know that I absolutely love pinned on wheels when compared to mushroom pegs, and this character can roll along the ground with absolute ease. Q did in fact actually come with a slew of accessories. I believe he came with the most accessories out of all of the DOTM Deluxes. So of course we did get his mech tech weapon, which I'll go into more detail when we take a look at him in robot mode, and we did in fact get the staff and various different tools and gadgets which all can form this accumulative weapon which can peg here on the hood of the vehicle mode. Now something which is also very cool is that Hasbro did engineer these spring-loaded mech tech ports, meaning that when you did actually insert them, you can see how it does create a 5mm port, and as soon as you remove the accessory, it does in fact conceal that. A really nice touch, and it's something that I wish they could implement on some modern day releases, but you can see that this simply just pegged there onto the top, and it looked ridiculous. Although in the DOTM movie, of course, the majority of the Autobots did in fact have stealth force modes, so I guess this isn't too far-fetched of what we could have seen from this character. For a very quick vehicle mode size comparison, here we have Q compared next to the buzzworthy ROTF Bumblebee, and you can see that considering this guy is 9 to 10 years old, he is actually substantially bigger when compared to Bumblebee, although personally I don't think the scale is that far off. Of course, if you have him there in the back tailing Bumblebee, it definitely doesn't look all that bad at all, but once again I'm pretty certain we shall see an SS version of this character within the next 2 or 3 years. As far as transformation is concerned, you're going to want to turn your attention here to the back and just completely take this entire section and collapse that there. We can then take the entire hood section and hinge this entire region back as well. You'll then want to take this section, pry this out slightly, which will then allow you to rotate this entire region around, and of course repeat the same process. Rotate here at the waist. We can then extend all of this here, and I believe you're going to want to split the legs. We can then take this section, hinge this entire region back, fold out the foot at the same time. Repeat the same process here on the opposite side, so hinge all of this back just like so and straighten out those joints. We can then turn our attention here to this region and just begin prying open these front headlights from the main bonnet section. We can bring this here to the back, take this here, angle this out, rotate this section around, fold the elbow joint here out on the double hinge joint, of course come here to this side and repeat the exact same process, and of course rotate here at the bicep. We can then take these panels, collapse them here in at the back, take this section and just collapse that down, bring the arms down as well, and then of course take this torso cavity, pull this forward in order to reveal the amazingly sculpted Wheeljack / Q head sculpt, and just compress that, and here we have the character fully transformed up into his astonishing looking robot mode. Honestly, what a terrific job the team over at Hasbro did, and I have no idea as to why they did decide to package such a new character and such an awesome design in the final wave of Dark of the Moon releases. I know that pretty much all collectors would have much rather gotten this character released in an earlier wave than as opposed to getting yet again another repainted version of Bumblebee. This guy is so well done. As we take a closer look here at some of the sharper details of the sculpt, the head sculpt just looks awesome. We've got so much awesome sculpt work as well as a plethora of paint application. I also do love the design cues, pun intended, to of course G1 Wheeljack, such as the translucent ears here on either side. You can definitely see the heavy design influence from Albert Einstein. This guy definitely does look as if though he is Albert Einstein, completely mechanized here into an Autobot. We've just got so much sculpt work. You can pick out the Cybertronian hieroglyph there on the top of his forehead, as well as what appears to be these almost spectacles underneath where Wheeljack's eyes are. As we turn our attention here to the torso, you can see the Mercedes insignia slap bang there in the center, as well as so much mechanical detail, which too has also been picked out in a very nice looking bronze paint app. And then as we turn our attention here to the shoulders, I think these here look wicked. I do actually like the metallic blue plastic that they have used here for the upper bicep. Of course, this does contrast very well with the gunmetal, the lighter shade of grey, and of course the darker blue that we got here for the exterior of the vehicle mode. And you can see here so much looking sculpt work even there for the hands. And as we turn our attention here to the lower region, it just looks exceptional. Of course, he is slightly kibbly, but considering that this is the entire front section of the vehicle mode, and then of course even the rear piece, I do actually think this does compact fairly well. And then as we spin around here to the back, Hasbro did indeed actually sculpt some back panel detailing, something which we have really only just seen starting to make its way into the main line of War for Cybertron and now of course Studio Series figures. So great attention to detail there on Hasbro's part. Wait, we surrender, we're your prisoners, can't we talk this out? We're all a bunch of good chaps. These are boomsticks, armed in 30 seconds, grapple clubs for climbing. Me name's Q, not that I've answers for him, I've never seen him so upset. As far as articulation is concerned, Q has a ball joint here at the head which can look up and down as well as tilt side to side and rotate left to right. We get ball joints here at the upper shoulder, and due to transformation you can also utilize this joint here. We also do get a rotation here at the bicep, a double joint at the elbow, a rotation here at the waist which is slightly restricted due to the kibble. We get ball joints here kicking out as well as kicking back out to the sides, rotation here at the thigh on a mushroom peg. Due to the nature of the transformation, unfortunately he doesn't really have any type of knee articulation, which is the figure's only downside, but that is something that I am able to look past considering that we didn't really get to see this character in many dynamic poses in the movie. And then of course for transformation you can pivot the toe forwards and backwards. And bringing in some of Q / Wheeljack's inventions, of course, as mentioned, we do get the staff. Now this looks awesome and is an accessory that I would have loved to have seen Q actually throw down with in the DOTM movie, perhaps when the Decepticons do try to capture the Autobots and do actually succeed, which does lead to the demise of such an awesome looking character design. You can take this here and port this onto the back just to complete his look from the film. We also do get these two weapons which are in fact different designs to one another, despite upon first glance looking vaguely similar. These do appear to be almost tool devices. You can see this one looks like a drill, whereas this one does look as perhaps it is a nail gun. You can see some ammunition there, and we can clip these onto the sides of Q's torso region via these clip systems, which we actually didn't really see a lot of in the main line of Dark of the Moon characters. So once again, no idea as to why this character was in fact packaged in one of the final waves, and for some reason this is fairly loose, but it is hanging on just for now. And then of course we get the mech tech weapon, which was one of the main gimmicks throughout the entire DOTM toy line, and I believe this was a completely brand new sculpt here for Q, so it wasn't just a recycle of an earlier release, and this looks exceptional. Once again, harkening back to his original G1 persona, that being an inventor, this does once again appear to be an almost toolbox, but it can also transform via pulling this switch into an awesome looking buzzsaw, and the more force that you pull it back with, the faster this blade here will spin, which is super cool, and is a gimmick that even after 10 years still works exceptionally well. So awesome. This can be held in his hand much like a toolbox, or you could in fact actually port it onto one of these mech tech slots and of course have him using it there as a chainsaw. So really fantastic looking figure. For a very quick size comparison, here we have him compared to Studio Series Dino, which if you've seen my review, I absolutely lost it when I took a look at this character, as I just love the DOTM film. Dino is quite a bit smaller when in comparison here to Q, so once again I imagine the Studio Series version will be more in scale with this character. Here he is alongside Deluxe Class Sideswipe, and you can see that once again he is in fact a little bigger. And then of course Studio Series Ironhide, which we do actually see these two characters appear on screen with one another, and you can see that the scale is way off. Q in the film was roughly, I would say, about here when in comparison to Ironhide, so once again we'll just have to wait and see what that Deluxe Studio Series version does entail. So that was my throwback review on the Transformers Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class Q. I really hope that you guys had as much fun as I did making this video. Honestly, I love taking a look at some of these older DOTM releases, and once again would love to know down in the comment section below on what character or figure you would like me to take a look at in the next throwback video. Q/Wheeljack is such an astonishing figure. Even after 9/10 years, he still holds up exceptionally well. The plastic, all of the joints, the accessories, everything just works so nicely on this character, and if the Studio Series version comes half as close as this character did to his original CGI model, then we will still be in for an excellent release, as this figure to me is just so well done, especially for a 2011/2012 era of Deluxe. It is once again just a shame that he was a part of the very elusive cancelled final wave of DOTM releases, and I would also like to know down below on whether or not you guys were actually lucky enough to pick this character up, or even to this date, is he still a figure that you are still on the hunt for? I thank you all for watching, and until my next review, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.